Kesara, and today I'm going to be doing my July week 3 reading vlog. July 21st. I know it's a weird day to be starting a vlog, but last week I had kind of like 2 reading vlogs, so it spanned over like 10 days. Like, it was a weird reading week. The first half of the week I was in like this super reading high and I read lots of things in like 3 days. And the second half of the week I read barely anything at all. But I did manage to get some updates for you guys on my bookshelf reorganization that I was doing at the time. So if you want to check that out, I'll link it up in the cards for you guys. But like always, I'll be starting out with the books that I'm currently reading. So first, last night I started Jade City by Fonda Lee. I'm really excited for this. It's an Asian-inspired fantasy, but with a city setting, which is a little bit different, but I'm just like really in the mood for Asian-inspired fantasies right now, and I'm really enjoying this so far. I've only read the first chapter, so I'm not like super far into it. I'm like right there. But I like the world building so far, and I like the writing style because it is action-oriented writing style, which I feel like could be really good because I've heard there's a lot of really action-packed scenes in here, specifically with martial arts, which makes me really excited. And I'm enjoying the world building with the Jade and kind of like the status and powers that it gives you, I think. Maybe, we'll see. Like I said, I'm not super far into it, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on with this book yet, but I'm really, really excited for it. Also, the second book that I'm reading is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, which I literally just finished like a second before I went to film this clip. I really, really enjoyed it. This was a reread for me, by the way, so I previously read it way back when it first came out, but I'm rereading it in anticipation of the third book that's coming out. I really enjoyed this. I'm planning to do a book talk on this. I'm really excited for that. It was fantastic. One thing I will say about The Poppy War is if you don't read a lot of grimdark fantasy, this might lull you into a sense of complacency because the first part of The Poppy War takes place in a school setting, and it has a very familiar setting because of that. And I think that might lull you into a sense of complacency that you're reading a familiar type of book, and then starting in part 2, it's very much a grimdark fantasy book. One of the darkest, most graphic grimdark fantasy books that I've read, but I loved every second of it. It definitely had me squirming at times that I don't remember from the first time around, so that was great. I also felt very differently about the characters. There were 2 characters in particular. Like the first time around, I really loved one of them and really hated the other one. And this time around, it was completely switched where I was like really annoyed at one of them and like really loved the other one. So I don't know what that says about me. I'll talk about it in my book talk, but yeah, I love this. I love this so much. I do plan on continuing on that reread with the Dragon Republic. I haven't decided if I'm going to start that physically or on audio, but since I'm reading Jade City physically, I'll probably start it on audio, but I kind of wanted to read it physically. So I don't know. I have the audiobook. I have the physical book. I'll probably switch between the 2 either way. In the mood for Asian-inspired fantasy, and that is what's working for me. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I will check in with you guys later. I am so angry with myself right now. It's because I woke up at 8 a.m. this morning. Okay, so it's Thursday, July 23rd. I worked the beginning of the week, so I work regularly Sundays through Wednesdays, so Thursdays I have off, and Thursdays are generally, in the past, they've always generally been my YouTube days. And since I'm working night shift, I wanted to wake up early on my off days. And by early, I mean like 4 or 5 a.m. So 8 a.m. is really, really late for me to wake up on a Thursday. And also, Thursdays are an upload day for me. I didn't prep a video last week because I had a really crazy week last week and I didn't have time to. I'm gonna be filming, editing, and uploading a video for today, which is gonna be crazy. I also have a lot of work to do this weekend just for a lot of things that I'm trying to just stabilize since I switched back to my new schedule, which I'm really, really excited to be back on like just a regular schedule. You have no idea. Because of that, I'm probably not gonna do as much reading this week as I had originally planned to. And I know the reading rush is going on this week, so everyone's probably like super excited for the reading rush and all of that, and it's not a good time for me to be reading a lot. I'm not in a super reading high. Like last week was my personal version of a reading rush, so this week I'm more relaxing a little bit more. So I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was talking about The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. I finished this book early on in the week. I'm planning to do a book talk on this. So because I want to do a book talk on this one, I didn't want to continue on with the Dragon Republic until I filmed that book talk. I do plan on continuing on with the Dragon Republic this month, probably even this week, but I needed to pick up another audiobook in between those times. So I decided to pick back up The Curse of Chalian by Lois McMaster Bujold. I know last week I put it down for a little while just because I was in like a weird mood. Well, I decided to pick it back up. I am enjoying it. It's very political. I'm excited to get more into this one and to really dive deep into the story, and I'm really excited for this. I think that's all the updates I have for you right now, but I will talk to you guys later. out of the house and go for a walk, because having moved to night shift, I feel like the only time I get to see the sun is like when I'm coming off of work, and I'm just like really tired and just ready to go to sleep. So I'm just like really angry at the sun, and I just want it to go away because it's just too bright. And also, I didn't realize this, but apparently my bedroom window faces west, which means it gets all of the sunlight in the afternoon and night. So I'm just like constantly cursing at the sun these days. So I figured right now, while I'm still wide awake and excited for the day, I would go out and take a walk. But I didn't realize that I live in Florida in July, and noon is like literally the worst time to go out for a walk. I'm a crazy person. Yesterday, I really didn't get around to any reading. Like zero, nada, nothing. I put on an audiobook for maybe about 4 minutes. It was The Curse of Chalian. I enjoyed it, but I was just way too busy and didn't get around to anything. I still have a lot to do today, so I'm hoping that maybe tonight I can get to some reading before going to bed, but I don't know. I'm just not in the reading mood. Even right now on this walk, normally I would bring my headphones and listen to an audiobook. I just didn't. I just felt like soaking in the sun for once, so that's what I'm doing. Hopefully my hand is not too shaky. I feel like it's super shaky, but hopefully you guys can still watch this clip. So it is Saturday, July 25th, and yesterday I did start reading like after the clip that I filmed yesterday. I actually made a lot of progress on The Curse of Chalian by Lois McMaster Bujold. I'm almost done with it now. I have like only that much left to go. I'm really excited to see where this is going. I'm really into this right now. I like some of the ideas that this brings in. I definitely didn't expect some of the things that are happening in this book, but I really like it, and it's very political, very slow moving political plot. It's not overly complex the way some political plots are. It's a little bit more simple. I think it's a little bit more accessible because of that, and I'm enjoying this. Also, I've seen people compare Kesara, which is like the main character in this book, to Fitz from The Realm of the Otherlings. You guys know The Realm of the Otherlings is one of my favorite series of all time. I completely get that comparison. Now, mind you, Fitz is not one of my favorite characters in that series. I mean, towards the end, definitely, especially in the Fitz and the Fool trilogy. Kesara reminds me of Fitz from the Tawny Man trilogy, which is when I really started to like Fitz. Like, I really started to like him in the Tawny Man trilogy. So I feel like that's a good comparison, but it's not one of my favorite characters of all time, if you know what I mean. Like, I feel like some of these other characters are way more interesting. Like Estelle, I think, is probably my favorite character in this book, but I'm really excited to continue on with this. I'm probably going to finish it later today. I definitely really am enjoying this so far. Also, last night, I decided to pick back up Memories of Ice by Steven Erikson. For some reason, I've just had Malazan on the brain, and I've just been wanting to continue on with it. I put this down back in May, so it's just time to pick it back up, and I'm really excited for this. I'm right there, so basically where I was before, but I went ahead and reread the prologue and the first chapter, so now I'm on chapter 2. So tonight, before I go to bed, I plan to read chapter 3, and I'm really excited for it. I'm just so ready to get back into the world of Malazan, and I've heard Memories of Ice in particular is one of the best books in the series, so that has me really excited for it as well. So it's Sunday, July 26th. I got home from work about an hour ago, and I just finished The Curse of Chalian by Lois McMaster Bujold. I had tried to finish this yesterday, but I had to go to sleep really early, so I couldn't stay up and finish it because I had to wake up at 1 a.m. to go to work. But I really love this. Like, I love this way more than I was expecting to from me reading the beginning of this book, but this book just kind of grew on me as it went. Very subtle. Like, it's so subtle that I feel like if you're not being a very attentive reader, you'll miss out on some of like the really cool things that are happening, because it's definitely fantasy, but like you don't notice it at first because, I mean, it's about a curse. There is a good romance in here. It's incredibly subtle. Like, it's not until the very end that you're just like, yeah, that's been happening the entire time, but like you can just feel hints and clues of it as it goes through, and I enjoyed that so much. I really like that. And of course, the politics is probably the least subtle part of this book, and of course, you guys know I love politics in fantasy, and the politics in here are done really well. This book is really cool. Like, the ending and like some of the stuff that happens at the ending and just the way it all ties up, I really loved. It also has an ending that is not like my typical ending that I would like. I tend to like my endings to be a bit different than this. I'm not gonna say how I like my endings or like how this one ended because that'd be obviously spoilers, but for this book, I feel like it just worked really well. My only complaint is that it took me so long to really get into the book. I felt like I was about like 75% of the way into it before I was like, wow, this is actually really good. You know what I mean? So I feel like I'll appreciate this book more upon reread. I don't plan to do that this year, but definitely within the next 5 years or so, I plan to reread this, and I think I'll absolutely love it. I still, like, upon reflection, really love this book, and I ended up giving it 4.7 7 5-stars. Lastly, I thought I should mention Jade City by Fonda Lee. I am continuing on with this book. I read like one more chapter, like not super far into it. This past week, I just haven't been able to find a lot of time to pick up physical books. I'm hoping that I can get more to it this coming week, because every time I pick this book up, I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. I really like the writing style. It's definitely fast paced, and the world building, like with every chapter, it just gets better and better and better. And I'm really excited for this book. Like, I have a feeling this could be a new favorite of mine also. This month has been so good for like new favorite books. So many great books I read this month. And of course, I'm really excited to continue on my July TBR. My August TBR video literally just came out. I'm definitely excited for those books also, but there is still quite a bit I want to get through in July before August, so I'm hoping to get through some of those first before starting my August TBR. But I'm enjoying like pretty much everything that I'm reading right now. So that's all I have for you guys. I post videos on Sundays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, so consider subscribing. And if you want to be notified as soon as I upload, you can click that little bell icon. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up to support my channel. All social media links are in the description down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.